Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane and I are back for more Survivor 50 coverage. This week we have our friend from Survivor Vanquish and of course Squid Game, The Challenge, Melissa Miller. Melissa, welcome to the Tribe of Nerds.
I'm excited to be here.
I know, we're excited to have you here. So, how's it been going with you?
Good. I'm really enjoying Survivor 50. I think some of it was a little like going into 50, I didn't know what to expect. Like, are we going to love it or is it going to be clowny? I feel like it is a little clowny sometimes, but I still feel like it's been fun to watch. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's definitely been a little bit corny. I mean, we'll definitely talk about the corniness of this episode with Jeff, but
yeah, I feel like the exact same way. I'm loving it, especially compared to the new era, because this is just better. But also Jeff went in and was like, this is the greatest season ever, and that I don't see. Like, I feel very similar to how I felt during Winners at War, where I'm like, this is really good, but like top 10, like lower top 10, but not much farther than that. But we'll see, because there's at least, in my opinion, Cirie is playing a masterclass of a game. So I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. She is. Like this episode, I mean, we've seen it all the way up until this episode anyway, but this episode was like chef's kiss for her, the way she just like laid it all out and everything that she talks about all the time, even when it's like really chaotic. It's her presence. You can just tell, like when they're sitting there and conversing with her, like any player, whether they're in her alliance or not, you can tell that they are calm when they're talking to her and they don't feel as like neurotic as like, you know, when Jonathan was talking to Christian, he's like looking at him all weird, you know, all tense and stuff. But like with Cirie, I feel like nobody does that and she's so threatening, so it's just like really crazy to watch.
Yeah, her social game is just top tier. And like, I think with Christian, it's like when you have Jonathan and Ozzy that are not at all the same type of people or players as Christian, and they see Christian, I feel like they see him as like they said, like a robot in human skin. So
yeah, and I think this episode like was really a testament to her social game, because they showed a few montages like where she has ins with everybody. Like she has ways to talk strategically with everyone. It's not just like talking about nonsense. So they all feel like they have things to work with her on. But also the fact that like people are coming up to her pitching to vote out Ozzy, not realizing that's her number one ally, that she can hide those sorts of things, I think is like masterful social play.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's get into the specifics of the episode. So with season 50, episode 9, so we started off after the last tribal where the fake idol got played or it got pulled out. And so everybody is thinking Rick Devens made a bad play. My dad very much disagreed last night. So when I was watching with him, he's like, well, Rick Devens was already a target. But my dad just really likes the flashy players like that. So I think he was just upset that everybody's like ragging on Rick Devens for at least like doing something.
Yeah, I enjoyed how Joe was like reenacting it. Because it showed a lot of character from Joe. But I think as much as like people can say that they think it's fake and everything, it clearly still caused doubt. Like that's one of those things, like someone can lie, even in like real life, someone can lie and you know they're lying, but you still have that doubt. And I think because of that, like it was good on Rick. It actually like advanced him further, because it did seem like last episode he was getting votes, him and Aubrey.
I think he was.
I also feel, I agree with that. But I also feel like it, even though it did kind of put a target on him and create some chaos, they were calling them the middle players anyway. And they were trying to knock out the old school alliance so that they could have, nobody had ties to anything and everyone was a little bit more even playing ground, but they were going to definitely target the middle players next. So I think regardless, Rick was going to get, so I was really actually surprised that they were all kind of like, oh, that was the dumbest thing he could have done. Because I thought it was very intelligent. I think it was very on trend for how he plays. And also like what you're saying, Shane, it's like when you're playing at this caliber and you can put any kind of little bit of doubt in someone's brain, that is a tool that you want to use as much as possible. I mean, he's already a target. He was a target like from Merge on already, you know, because of Joe. So, which opinions, but
yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get into that in a bit. But I mean, Melissa, I mean, with the fake idol, is that something that you would have done with what Christian and Rick Devens have done with this fake idol, of planting it and then pulling it out at Tribal? Is this a move you would have tried?
I would have. I have before, actually. So what happens, like, it depends on, I think for me, whenever I would be put in a position like that, I think that it really takes a very strong strategic mind to know your pecking order.
Yeah.
And I had played a game where I was on the bottom, like the bottom of the bottom, and I got a fake idol. It was something it was an advantage that I won. And so I was planting that thing everywhere I possibly could, because when you're like, when you really have nothing to lose, yes, I would have definitely done something like that. If you're in a pretty good position, I probably wouldn't,
Right,
mess with that too much and put any more doubt or any much of a target on my back, especially if I'm in a good position. I don't want anyone to like second guess me. But
right.
if I was kind of in Rick's and Christian's position, which I don't think Christian realized quite where his position was, I definitely would be planting fake idols and saying all kinds of crazy stuff at camp and tribals too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Shane, would you have done it?
Probably, if I were in that position, yeah. Like, it's always hard to, like, for me to think about exactly what I do, because I don't know, like, all the circumstances, but I don't think it's a terrible move, especially if you have the reputation Rick had coming in of being the person that finds advantages every which where. It makes sense that, like, hey, he found something that nobody else knew about. Like, it's more believable. If Cirie pulled it out, I'm like, or Ozzy, like, I'd be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Ozzy's one time he did that was making a stick with a face on it. Yeah, I feel like it would have depended if I was on the bottom or if I was on the top. If I'm on the bottom, I've got nothing else to lose, so might as well do something. But if I'm on the top, I'm definitely not exposing myself like that. So so then so this causes Aubrey to want to distance herself from Devens, which I think is pretty smart. I mean, they both played together on Edge of Extinction. Everybody knows that. And at this point, I feel like just based on that factor and the fact that Devens is blowing things up, you kind of have to distance yourself from that person in case like people actually get that shot off and take them out, and you don't want to be left like completely on the bottom with no one.
I felt like that was a really wise move for her, not just because it was Rick in the situation, but I think in season 50, you really need to distance yourself from everybody. Like, I don't think showing a true loyalty to somebody is a wise move in this season, this particular season. So I think it was really smart, just a smart move, gameplay, minus the fact that it's Rick. I just think that it was really wise. Like, I was really impressed with her conversations this episode.
Yeah, I get the sense, at least from the edit, that very well describes Aubrey, where she's kind of like there and has enough relationship with everybody, but doesn't have like a clear number one. Like, I mean, they had showed Tiffany was close to her way back when, but we haven't seen much of that. So Aubrey's kind of like genuinely in the middle, but like workable with everybody. Where on the flip side, I feel like Cirie has clear number ones, but based on how I think the edit is showing it, the players don't realize that. So the players think Cirie is similar, where she doesn't really have loyalties, but she does. And I think that's why Cirie is a masterclass and a little bit better than Aubrey in this point.
Yeah.
Agreed. So Devens does also tell Emily about his fake idol. So we've known that everybody has been telling Emily everything, and she's been spilling everything. I don't know. Melissa, I mean, if you were playing with someone like Emily, I mean, are you getting rid of them immediately? Because I hate playing with wild cards. I think if people are just slipping up and spilling everything to everyone, I feel like that's just so dangerous.
So with Emily, I feel like I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and in that particular podcast, I felt like I was defending Emily quite a bit. But now I would not die on a sword for someone like Emily. I would still kind of play with her because I like to keep my options open. I never close the door with anybody, but the things that they showed last night just like bucking against how much rice we should be making. And like those are really small things, but big annoyances when you are hungry and starving and stripped of everything that you're used to, and you're playing a game where you can't trust anyone. I feel like I would have been like Cirie and be like, okay, I don't like you today. So we're done. We're done here. This is not a working relationship. But I think until somebody does something to me that like ruins my trust, like telling the idol when Dee found out that she told, was it Rizzo, that Rizzo had the idol, that she knew Rizzo had the idol or something like that. I think it's just like when you catch them, then you can close that door and really gun for them. But I don't know. I don't mind a player like Emily, but she is definitely a wild card. Is the best way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah. Shane, would you be able to deal with Emily?
I would probably take her out because I feel like I can relate a little bit, like in real life. Like there's things that I feel like I shouldn't tell people, and I'm like, but I just want to. And then I tell too much. So that's kind of what Emily's doing in the game. And like, I know how dangerous that can be. So because I can kind of relate to that, I'd be like, we need to get her out because that could really ruin our games.
Yeah.
Even if she's like pleasant or a good ally in other ways, I feel like it's just not worth it because information is really like your main currency in Survivor. And you could have everything, but if she gives it all away, then you have nothing.
Well, and especially where they're at in the game too.
Yeah.
You know, this is the important area where they're at, and it shows a lot of where the direction is going to go, how they play. And if she's giving information out now, I would cut her too. I wouldn't want to be with her anymore.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, as you get lower and lower in numbers, that's going to be so important because also like I wouldn't want someone like Emily to all of a sudden screw me over after we've been working together. Like I thought that was my biggest fear for Christian, is that she was going to do that to Christian. That doesn't exactly end up being why Christian goes out at all, actually, but it's definitely something that would be in the back of my mind. So and then we have Christian offering Jonathan his shot in the dark, which is going to come into play later. And it's going to make him a target instead of what helped him when he gave it to Ozzy. I mean, Melissa, are you giving someone your shot in the dark, or are you absolutely not giving them any of that leverage?
No. I mean, I think you need all your weapons. Everything, all the tricks up your sleeve you possibly can have. So no, I would not, especially someone I just lied to. I would not be giving them my shot in the dark at all. Now I understand that because of his situation, I don't think it mattered that he gave him the shot in the dark. So I think that's why he kind of pushed it, or at least that's what I was seeing. And I wonder if that situation didn't happen, if he would have still given him the shot in the dark. I don't know. I would not, though. No, not me.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the shot in the dark is something that's really not that powerful. So like if I had to do it and I felt like there was a lot I could gain from it, sure. But also it's better to have something that's not powerful than have nothing at all. And like if it got down to me and I know like I'm going to be a unanimous vote, like I'd rather have that slim chance of getting safety.
But also too, like I genuinely don't think that Christian really knew where he stood.
Yep.
And I think that also gave him the confidence to hand it over, you know, like pretty freely.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be giving anybody like any extra leverage against me. Like if I had some sort of power, I think I'm probably keeping my cards close to my chest, but I guess it definitely depends on the situation as well. So, all right, let's get to the reward and immunity challenge. So this is, of course, the classic holding on to the handle attached to the bucket with 25% of your pregame body weight, and they're doing it for rice. But the catch is that 4 people have to beat Jeff Probst in the challenge for the first time ever because Jimmy Fallon got Jeff to compete. I mean, Melissa, what are your thoughts on Jeff competing because of Jimmy Fallon?
Well, I still think they should have done 5 because they still could have beat him. But it's one of those silly, goofy, where we had like kind of silly, goofy. I had a little bit of secondhand embarrassment when he was like grimacing. But I mean, it's not as bad as like the 500 confessionals we got of Zach. You know what I mean? I thought it was okay. Not terrible, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. Like, could I have done without it? Yes, but it didn't do that much that we had it there, so I was fine with it. But I wonder, because he's saying Jimmy Fallon did it, and obviously we got a Jimmy Fallon advantage later. Like, did Jimmy Fallon just not want to come on the island?
I don't know if he was busy or just like too embarrassed to come out there and get, talked back to by the contestants. I mean, obviously Christian's not going to be too happy at the end of this episode. Maybe Jimmy Fallon was like, I don't want someone to do that to my face. I don't know.
Well, I also feel like, I don't know, because Christian has seemed like he's just playing up so much for like camera time that when he saw that he got a Jimmy Fallon thing, he's like, not even thinking about the game. He's like, oh, I can tweet at him if this goes bad, and he can tweet back at me, and I can go on his show, and then people will know who I am. So I feel like he probably saw like the bright side of it. He's like, okay, I lost. This is a bad advantage, but at least I maybe can have some interactions with Jimmy Fallon.
That's entirely possible as well. I mean, I do think Christian's definitely been playing it up. I mean, we've seen him literally, telling Emily to zip it. I mean, I feel like some of that stuff is definitely playing it up, or like I feel like even voting Mike White out and Angelina, I feel like was absolutely so he could be the last David versus Goliath person. I don't even think it was like for mostly strategy reasons. Like he wants to probably make us think. So, but no, I mean, and as far as Jeff in the challenge, I think it was funny. I thought it was cool to show how Jeff used to be with talking crap back to the contestant. Like I really, really miss that. I think my favorite moment of Jeff talking back to a contestant is still Blood versus Water and him crapping on Colton for quitting the game.
I thought it was wild watching back him calling, I think, James a little bitch. I think he called him.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I forgot about that. Wild.
Or I think it was like he might have been telling Penner to stop bitching and keep throwing or something. It was something like that. But it was still wild for sure. I
wish they showed the clip from Heroes and Villains when Coach thought he won that like sandbag challenge, and then he didn't because he like karate chopped Rupert or something, and Jeff's like pointed at the pirate, not at me, because Coach was like flipping him off.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. I think if Coach was still in the game or Colby, I think we would have gotten more Jeff Probst talking back to them in the montage, but they're both gone. So sadly. But yes, so Joe ends up beating Ozzy because Ozzy was about to tie Boston Rob's career record. So this is Joe's second, and I believe it's his sixth career. Because he won 4 and 48. So good for Joe. And then Christian wins rock, paper, scissors to go to exile. In this case, exile Barge. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on this, Melissa, because this is really, really interesting. So Christian has to complete this puzzle in time to get Jimmy Fallon's one vote in the urn twist, where he gets to secretly put a vote in the urn before like tribal council even happens. But Christian fails, shockingly. I didn't think he was going to fail, but he does. And the twist is that for the first time in Survivor history, he has to vote for himself. So, Melissa, what are your thoughts on this?
So Barge puzzle, I think, is cool in general. I loved when Rachel did it. In 47.
Yeah.
I loved when Rachel did it. I love the idea of it now. I love that kind of stuff. I loved Stephanie having to hold her arm over her head for an hour. I like those kinds of things. And I like twists and stuff that can get them to earn different. I like advantages. But I don't know how I feel about this particular advantage. I don't know how powerful it really would have been if he did win it. And I just think that even though they did paint the picture of it looking like it was stacking against him prior to all of this anyway, I have a little bit of a feeling that if he didn't already have that vote against him, it might have went Emily Flippin last night.
Yeah. I think Christian has said in his exit press, because I just listened to his RHAP exit interview today, and he said like he definitely thinks that the vote against him is what finished him off today last night, and that he thinks it would have switched off of him had he not already had a vote, because Riz God started pushing him because he was like against the wall.
Yeah,
well, yeah, because he kept saying, like he's got the vote, so we might as well like Rizzo is really good with just seeing it black and white like that, and I think for him it was like, no, that's a dumb move to change it when we already have this all set up.
Right.
So,
exactly. Yeah. Shane?
You can go, Shane. Sorry.
No, that was kind of what I was getting at too. So it was good. It's like it's so hard to whip together votes in the new era when things change so much and there's so many people left, that like if someone has one vote, that's helping you already. So just stick with that, get that person, you already vote on them.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult. Like once people see something like that's already out there and there's like a bunch of people involved, generally they're gonna hop on as well, I feel like. So one other thing on the barge, I did like the moment. I know it kind of probably comes off a little bit like Christian is still playing it up for the cameras, but like kind of talking to his son a little bit, I thought was really, really nice to have. And just being like, I want my son to know, like he, you shouldn't give up. And if like something bad happens, you should just like dust yourself off and keep going. So I thought that was a really nice message, regardless if Christian was probably playing it up. So
do you one, I was shocked he didn't do that puzzle, by the way.
Yeah, I was too.
And two, do you think they told him to not tell the tribe that it was from Jimmy Fallon, or did he just choose to not do that?
Yeah, I don't know, because like I feel like they would have wanted to have him say Jimmy Fallon as much as possible, right. But at the same time, also Jimmy Fallon is on a different network, so maybe they don't want it mentioned as much because it's one of their competitors. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that could be like maybe he did talk about it, but then when they were doing the editing, the network was like actually downplayed Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. I mean, I was, because we knew from like the trailer and stuff, Christian had to be the one to say like Jimmy Fallon might have decided my fate in this game. So like I knew it was coming as long as Christian was still around. So I mean, I've known, because I've seen like clips of Jeff being on Jimmy Fallon's show, and like Jimmy Fallon has talked about Survivor a lot of times on his show in the past. So like I knew he was a big fan. But yeah, I don't know. It is, again, it's interesting. He's not actually out there himself. It's the same as Billie Eilish. So
yeah, at least apparently he talked about it earlier this week on his show that he would be coming up. Like Billie Eilish, has she even acknowledged that Survivor exists?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but some I feel like some of the people who are like in that level of spotlight, maybe not so much Jimmy Fallon, but I could maybe see Billie Eilish kind of being like, Sia, where she didn't really want to give the awards. She just wanted to be like, here's, do this, kind of hide behind it. I kind of understand that, they have so much fame to begin with that they probably just don't want to, they want to be involved, but they don't want to be involved. I could kind of understand that, but not really from Jimmy Fallon. Like, I feel like he would be on the boat, like waving, like being crazy, but I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I can just see Jimmy Fallon like arriving and start just like immediately joking and like snickering with everybody. I don't know. Like that's just what Jimmy Fallon does on his show. So, but yeah, so we get back to camp and Christian has to publicly say that he has to vote for himself, which gets like the big reactions. And then we basically get the vote switching from Christian to Devens to Emily and then back to Christian. So there's a big scramble. Devens claims he's going to play his idol this time, like because he knows that his name is out there. And of course, Christian gives the shot in the dark to Jonathan, which is like a last-ditch effort. I mean, he doesn't really have any other play at this point. So I guess at this point, might as well just try anything. And I guess it worked when he did it with Ozzy. It just didn't work with Jonathan this time.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, I think Melissa was saying this, is I don't think Christian actually knew he was going home because he kind of said it was a blindside. So I'm like, if you think that, then why are you giving this to Jonathan? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird decision, but Yeah, let's get to tribal council unless you guys have anything else before we get to tribal.
Before we do, I just want to hear, and it doesn't have to be long, but just quick, like both of your thoughts on the actual advantage itself, like advantage or disadvantage. Like, how did you feel about it? Because to me, I love Australian Survivors, like advantages and twists, and I feel like an extra vote can be powerful and a block of vote can be powerful, but like I wanted something like really creative.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like it was.
No,
and it wasn't even like a full extra vote because you have to cast it right then and there, so you don't even get to strategize.
Right.
Like, what if he just casts it for someone and then he goes back and we know new era, things change so fast that it's like, oh, I wasted that now.
Yeah.
And I also don't know, like, he casts it now, and then does he still get to cast his real vote at tribal or not? I mean, they never even said that part.
Yeah, they didn't say that part. I assume this vote now and then his actual vote at tribal council. But I think it's definitely a disadvantage because again, people can just easily jump on it now that they all know. Like, I don't know, maybe it would have been better if Christian didn't have to publicly tell everybody that he has to vote for himself because it's just like so easy at that point. Like, I feel like at least give him the opportunity to say or not say. And like we've had obviously seasons. I mean, Shane, like Justin and 48, like have the opportunity to say or not say if you've lost your vote. And unfortunately, it didn't work for Justin to not say his vote. But I mean, he was in a situation where he was screwed because of what happened and being forced to play. But
right,
I definitely think like it would have been better to give Christian the choice.
Yeah, but also like if let's say he got that advantage and then he votes, let's say he votes for Ozzy and then he goes back to camp, he's probably going to tell his allies at least. So he tells Emily, and Emily's probably going to go tell Ozzy. And it's not like she's saying, oh, Christian says he's going to vote for you, because then if he says that, like Ozzy can flip Christian. She's like, no, Christian already voted for you. Like, you can't change that. So then he's going to be like, oh, well, I can't change it. Let me just vote Christian out. So I feel like even though it's an advantage, it's still actually not. Like, an actual extra vote would have been better.
Wasn't there, I think it might have been Australian Survivor, and I know that Jake, you'll probably know this more than me, but there was a season, and it could have been even the one that just aired, where somebody got something and they were allowed to vote right before tribal, or block someone's vote right before tribal, but they were allowed to do it right before they left for tribal. And I feel like that would have been like, here's your vote, and you're allowed to use this vote now that you completed the puzzle, but you have to do it before you leave for tribal council.
Yeah, I'd have to look back, but like the first thing that jumps to mind, I guess, is like the George and Kara voting for Simon in Brains versus Brawn, like at tribal and not actually like being a part of that tribe. I guess that's what jumps to mind for me, but I know that's not the same situation, so I'm trying to remember, but I can't off the top of my head. So
there was something, it was like right before tribal, and I was like, that is smart. Like, that is we can utilize this, it'll be entertaining. I don't know. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we get to tribal, and this is where Christian is definitely playing for the camera and basically acts like he's pissed and says, you know, I'm not happy with Jimmy Fallon, and like, Jeff is like, well, you seem like you're trying to be funny, but like you're actually like legitimately pissed. And so like, yeah, that this is definitely another example of Christian playing it up. So then that leads to the votes, and Christian's going to be like, yeah, Jimmy Fallon, you screwed me over. I can't wait to come on your show. And nobody plays anything. Devens does not play the fake idol, obviously. And we get to the votes, and with Christian voting for himself, it doesn't matter. And Christian is voted out 6-3-2 over Devens and Ozzy. And Jonathan gives Christian back his shot in the dark as, like, I guess, attempted jury management. So good on Jonathan, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like Jonathan's game I'm very impressed with, but I don't know how much win equity he has, because like he's doing a lot strategically and he's actually doing things, which I like, but I just don't know how well he's liked by the others.
Mhm.
It feels very much like Brad Culpepper Game Changers, where like Brad did stuff, but the jury just didn't like him. And then there was someone that just played lights out better than him, which here we also have Cirie playing lights out better than everyone else.
I agree. Melissa, what are your thoughts on Jonathan's game?
I have this like back and forth thing with Jonathan. Like sometimes I want to just give him a little kiss, and then sometimes I'm just like, get this man off my screen. Like I feel like I'm back and forth. I am very much impressed with how he has taken some things that didn't work for him in the past and have made some changes. I really like to see a little bit more of an aggressive play from him. He's doing that, in my opinion. I just wish that Jonathan could let go of this like loyalty thing, this integrity loyalty thing, because he's not really playing with honor, integrity, and loyalty. So let's just like drop it and let's just play hard because we're here to play Survivor. Like I would love to see Jonathan in that light, I think is where I'm at. But I don't hate him. Like I said, sometimes I want to give him a little kiss, and then sometimes I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah. I see that. I think Jonathan definitely is interesting in like the new era in that sense because of like the loyalty piece, but then he's not actually, like you said, Melissa, he's not actually being loyal to anyone but like whoever serves him the best. So I am impressed in ways, like I said it when we rewatched 42, that like I thought Jonathan's game wasn't as like lackluster as I thought it was on my initial watch. And that he did some other things that he didn't really get credit for on the initial watch. But I'm just not sure at all either what his win equity is. I do feel like he pissed off Dee, he's pissed off Tiffany. Like I feel like he's pissed off a lot of people that are going to be on the jury, and I don't know that he's going to get the credit because of that. So.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I do feel like he's a presence this season. Like we're getting a good amount of him.
Yeah.
But I just don't know like how the others feel about him. Like I feel like we at home are supposed to like him and be impressed. Like that's what the edit's going for. But like I don't think Dee's a fan. Tiffany I don't think's a fan. So I don't know. Christian's
if you think about the jury, I really think the only two people that would maybe consider it would be Chrissy and Coach.
Right.
But the others are just gonna, I think, be either irritated with him or unimpressed.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I can definitely see that. All right. I mean, any final thoughts on Christian before we hit our favorite player of the episode and our predictions?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Christian was a big presence this season, but it's like the classic case of coming out too strong and you're never going to win that way.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what happened to him. Well, not exactly what happened to him last time. Last time he was just the biggest threat and they knew for a fact they had to get him out, where like that was sort of the reason here, but it was also just because of like his alliance positioning as well. But he still made it pretty far because like 11th place doesn't sound great, but considering they started with 24 people, like he made it far. Yeah,
very true. Melissa?
I just kind of feel sad for him. I know, don't come for me, Chrissy fans. I'm not a fan of Chrissy. I shouldn't say that. I was unimpressed with Chrissy this season, but I felt bad for her in the way she got out. And I also feel bad for Christian in the way he got out, just because, yes, the votes did look like they were stacking against him anyway. But I think that the twist for both of them was just kind of unfortunate. And I would have rather see Christian put his foot in his mouth, and that's why he got out, versus just being out because of this.
Right.
Because I do think he's a good player and he is very entertaining. And I do think that this meant a lot for him.
Right.
It does for everybody, but you could just see it, even though he was playing it up for the cameras, you could just tell this meant a lot to him. And so I felt kind of sad for him. Honestly, I did feel sad for him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for anybody when like the game means so much to them, because it would mean a lot to me as well. So it's like, definitely like a sad moment to see someone like that go, and especially someone that I relate to in like the nerdy archetype. So, all right, let's hit our favorite player of the episode. So Melissa, who was your favorite player this week?
Cirie.
Yeah.
Cirie. Always.
Yeah, Cirie is just amazing. So yeah, I totally get that. Shane.
Cirie. It's just her game's too good. Like I think regardless of how the rest of the season goes for her, this is her best game above Micronesia. Because I think even if she goes next week, but I just don't see it. I think she's set up so well that she's probably gonna make it at least top 6. And then that's when maybe her alliance will try to snipe her because she's a threat and won't win challenges. But also Aussie might just go to the end with her because it's Aussie. And like,
yeah,
I don't know that he would see her as a threat. And like Rizzo will probably see her as a threat, but like, who knows? Like if Aussie's on her side, who knows? So I can't believe I'm saying like she actually has a shot to win a game, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, she finally won Traders a couple years ago. So like, yeah, I mean, hopefully, finally, she can win a Survivor season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Christian just for the reasons I stated. I at least related to him this season and in David versus Goliath. But yeah, I'll go with Christian. So. All right, predictions for next week. I mean, looks like Mr. Beast is finally coming. I don't know if you've interacted with Mr. Beast at all, Melissa, but
I have not interacted with Mr. Beast. No, I have not. But I have no idea what to expect his huge beware advantages.
Well, so I don't know much. I hadn't even heard of him until like a year ago when I heard about Beast Games Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard like he has a thing where you can like double the money. So maybe it's that, but maybe it's like that with like the do or die twist, which I thought that died. But what if it's like you have like a 50-50 chance of either doubling the money or you go home immediately? Like, because they need another double elimination if they want to make 6 people in the finale.
Yeah.
I was thinking too, just as we were talking, it made me think, okay, so you remember they used to do big giveaways. Like, I don't remember at what point, but like the cars, they always gave away a car, What if he's coming out to do something similar to that? Because he loves giving things away, like a whole island. So I wonder if, I don't know what his beware advantage is and what it would look like. I'm sure it would crazy task to get it done, but I wonder if it is some kind of like gift, like a huge gift, not just a car, like a huge gift, because he has plenty of money. He gives away $10 million a shot. So I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Or the gold coin, I guess the coin to flip it and double it is a good guess too. But I just wonder.
I mean, he could give like an island. He could give like a whole city. Or
oh my god,
whole city, a whole neighborhood.
Oh my god. Yeah, because like the gold coin is a good point because I think the intro has a gold coin in it at one point. So like it's
the trailer had that.
Yeah. So it has to be something with that. I do agree. The ramifications of it, I'm not sure. I see rumors online, but I kind of don't want to trust some of the rumors because like some of them sometimes they just don't make sense. So yeah, I am curious what it is going to be, but like a super beware advantage doesn't exactly make me think highly of it because we know that Jeff loves people losing their votes. So it's also probably going to involve that.
Well, doubling the prize pot would be wild, which would make sense because I still am like shocked that Jeff has gotten as involved in Beast Games as he has.
Yeah.
So him giving away extra money in Jeff's show would make sense. Why Jeff would be invested in Mr. Beast, but who knows? I mean, it's just speculation at this point. But I was shocked when I saw how much Jeff was involved in Beast Games too.
Yeah.
Like shocked.
Yeah.
Completely.
After he's basically said that anybody who goes on any other shows is blacklisted from the show.
Right.
So, I mean, that's why we didn't get Carolyn Weiger or Jesse back. So, I don't know. It's very, very weird. All right. I mean, with that, thanks for coming on, Melissa.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So with that, we will see you all next time for more Survivor 50 on the Tribe of Nerds.